Welcome back to Just Saying. If you've ever walked out of a grocery store mid-meltdown, cried in your car because parenting feels too hard, or thought to yourself, why is this so much harder for me than it is for anyone else? This episode's for you. Today, I'm joined by Melissa Schulz, parenting coach, behavior analyst, and mom of three, who's helping families break out of the shame spiral and into real solutions. Whether your child is strong-willed, highly sensitive, or neurodiverse, Melissa brings a new approach rooted in connection, compassion, and capability. Let's ditch the judgment and talk about what parenting really looks like and how to feel confident through it all. Let's dive in. Hey friends, I'm here today with Melissa Schulz with decades experience as a parenting coach, and gosh, don't we need it. Hello, welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone. I am so happy to be here and excited to talk to you, Jess.
I'm excited too. I mean, gosh, I wish my mom had a parenting coach. Maybe I'd turn out a little differently.
A lot of people tell me that.
But I mean, back in the day, they didn't even have like parenting groups almost.
Yeah.
Or if you did, you felt like you were a failure because you had to go get advice from somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that my mom we had lots of friends in the neighborhood and I was friends with every kid. And I don't think my mom even consulted like the neighbors, the lady used to make me lunches when I would go play over their house, Laura and Rochelle's house. I don't think Debbie, their mom, that made me my bologna sandwiches. I don't know if her and my mom actually talked like about deep stuff or about like parenting. I
Yeah.
don't know. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Come
Now
a
we're all
long way.
talking about it.
Still
We're
ways to go.
unraveling it. We're dissecting it.
Mhm.
We're coaching about it. We're podcasting about it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. Me too.
So, okay, let's get started on your journey. So I wrote this down in my notes, so please forgive me, but it says from group homes to founding a behavioral health company. Tell us about that journey.
Yeah. I started working with like at-risk youth or like youth with behavior challenges when I was 18. So I started working in group homes, residential treatment facilities. I worked in a shelter for teenage prostitutes and a group home for like drug dependent teens. So just a lot of, really hard situations, kids that had gone through a lot of trauma.
I mean,
And
did that teach you a lot? I mean, you're young,
it did
dealing with
teach me a
kids
lot.
your age, dealing with prostitution and drugs and all
Yeah,
kinds of stuff. I mean, that must have been a shocker.
it was very different. It was very different. But like just the help is so needed. So I like love it. I
Yeah.
knew that was what I was supposed to do. And so then I started working in schools and I went to grad school and I ran a big program at a residential treatment facilities, like non-public school to help kids like this. Started
What did you go
working
to grad
more.
school for, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I went to my undergrad is in psychology and my master's is in counseling. And then I have an additional certification where I'm a board certified behavior analyst. That's like an international certification in all things human behavior.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
Wow,
I kind
you're
of
like
got
a little
that.
go-getter. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? You
I
look
am
so young.
41.
Shut the front door. You look like you're like 20.
I have always looked very young, which was challenging when I was 18 working with teens because I looked younger than a lot of them. I
But
appreciate it more now, but I was not a
you
fan when
so
I was
still get carded, do you not?
18.
Like you
I
do.
don't usually get carded anymore, but
Shut
it
up,
was a
you do
long
too.
time before
I
that
swear,
happened.
I just got carded yesterday, and I'm like, seriously, I could be your grandma.
I'm like, "Thank you for carding me." I'm like so appreciative.
I did say that though.
Thank
I
you.
said, well, thank you anyways for the gesture. Like, you didn't really have to do it, but okay, whatever. She's like,
Yeah,
the rules. I'm like, whatever. Maybe she thought I was like an ABC narc or something because I don't know,
maybe.
it was
Yeah,
like a low end
undercover.
kind of store.
Yeah. Maybe.
Because I didn't even like the wine. They had no good wine, but I was doing a meal yesterday. I was cooking and I needed some wine to cook with.
Mhm.
And then my husband's like, oh, you're going to drink this? And I'm like, no, I'm not drinking that. I'll
Yeah.
cook with it, but I won't
Yeah.
drink with it. I'm so bougie in that way. Sorry, I totally went off script. Okay, keep going. So you got your graduate degree in counseling, and keep going because I'm interested in your story. I
Yeah.
didn't mean to
So
take you
then
off
I
beat.
start no, I get like squirrel all the time. So
I
this
know.
is gonna be a great conversation. Lots of fun tangents. Um, But yeah, I started working more with people with autism and ran some clinical programs for that population, both kids and adults. And yeah, like just my journey was like a really cool, gaining lots of experience along the way. It felt very eclectic when I was going through it, but now looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh, that like really gave me such broad experience with everything. Where now I'm like, whatever the behavior is, like I have seen it and much, much worse. Like you are not surprising me. Like whatever's happening in your house, I promise. I have no judgment here. I have seen and dealt with much worse. Um, and then I was working for enough companies where I like noticed that a common denominator was not treating employees well. Like so they were like everyone was there to help the kids, but there was just not great like support. And it's such a high burnout career anyway. Then so that's when I decided to start my own behavioral health company, which was through medical insurance. And my goal was like to have a really great company culture and like really pour and invest in my team because then they can go and do really great work with the kids. And
And then they
that
like
was
where they
really
work. And
what?
then word of mouth, they love where they work, and word of
Yeah.
mouth gets you
Yes.
other people and new people coming into the field. So yeah, that's always treat your employees good. You
Yeah,
know what I
so it
mean?
started out in my living room. I think I was like 26 or 27, not really knowing what I was doing, but like very passionate to figure it out. And I did. And I ran that company for over a decade. I grew it to over 75 employees, and we won awards every year for being one of the best places to work in the nation, which was like not only great quality service for the kids, but like a really good working environment.
Well, first of all, your mission statement, if that's never like an accolade to say, I did exactly what I set out to do, you know?
Yes, exactly.
So yeah,
Yeah. So that was a
for sure.
lot of fun. But even kind of through that journey, it was with medical insurance, which just has more restrictions and challenges. And kind of based on everything I had learned professionally and personally and everything, I like realized there was like a gap between what medical insurance would provide and what parents actually needed. And so then I started this coaching practice kind of on the side of my other business. I am a little crazy. And that was, like, just that I'm like, "Yes, this is, like, what parents actually need." So that's really what I get to do now is I ended up selling, that other business so I could just go full-time into coaching, and it's just, very high quality, like, everything a parent of a strong-willed, really sensitive, or neurodiverse kid needs, and I know because 'cause I've done it forever, and I have 2 neurodiverse kids myself, and
Yeah,
so
me.
I kind of used all of that
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, can I ask you a question? So how does the setup work? If I mean, so before we get into some other stuff, let's get into the nitty-gritty about like how does it work? Do you do it telehealth or um do you go to house visits or what how tell me how it works to
Yeah,
be.
so I have a couple different programs. I work with clients one-on-one, and then I have a group coaching program that runs for 3 months. We have different cohorts that start every 3 months. It's all on Zoom, so I work with people all over the country, and my certification is actually international, so I could work with people in other English-speaking countries. Um, and yeah, it's mostly, I don't need to be in the homes anymore. A lot of most of my career, I was in people's homes, and so I like, now when people tell me, I can just kinda picture it, like, I can see it. And I've
Yeah.
also learned that sometimes how the parent is describing it to me is actually more helpful than what's actually happening. Because like, the parent's perspective is what I'm really trying to help. And so every once in a while, people
Yeah.
will send me videos or whatever, but I don't usually need that anymore. But I'm like, if I was stuck, I would just be like, "Yeah, send me a video and we can look at it."
So we tried family therapy with my
Uh-huh.
son,
Yeah.
which was really just me, my husband, and my son. My daughter, they're like, she doesn't need to be a part of it. Because my husband and my son don't get along, not necessarily along, but they don't see each other's perspective because my
Yeah.
son has Asperger's, and
Mhm.
he thinks in a box,
Yes.
and he can't see anybody else's point of view, or
Right.
he just feels like it's his way or how he feels is the right way.
Yeah, like, it's hard to
And my
see someone
husband
else's
is a
perspective.
boomer who, he's like, throw some dirt
Yeah.
on it and rub it off. You're fine.
Yeah, yeah,
Like that's how he grew up. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And so they mesh.
Right.
They don't get along. So we tried. It just didn't work. I don't know why. In our situation, I don't know if I don't think she was doing very good, but I guess just got to get the right kind of person, and also use. I, I guess there's certain tools that you have to use to like not dissect, but unravel what really is going on, get to the layer of the onion that's really causing the
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, I love therapy. I've gone to lots of therapy myself. I recommend it for my clients sometimes. I think though sometimes what can happen is when everyone's together, what I have found is it's hard to figure out what's happening for each person, right? So
Yeah,
that my approach is I would like in that case just work with your husband if he was willing and wanted to work on it.
yeah.
And it because that is the adult with a fully formed brain, right? And it would really be like supporting your husband in learning new skills, understanding your son's perspective.
Well,
And
my
that
son's
way
24, just saying.
what?
My son's 24, just
Yeah,
saying,
yeah, yeah.
and he still lives at home, so
Yeah,
he is an adult in my eyes.
right. Yeah, yeah,
He
totally.
he they don't get along because my son is having hard time getting a
Yeah,
job, or, he
yeah,
doesn't have a lot of skills.
yeah.
Well, then my husband is older, who thinks, when you're 18, you get a job.
You get a
If you're
job and
gonna
move out.
stay
Yeah.
home, you need to go get a job. You need to go do this. You need to be
Yeah,
driving. You need to be doing and
yeah,
helping more and around the house. And my son is like, no, like he's pushing back on my husband.
yeah,
I agree with my husband in a lot of ways. I mean, don't get
yeah,
me wrong. I
yeah,
think, because I was raised the same way.
yeah.
I'm not a boomer, but I'm just saying. But it's just hard because with kids nowadays, they've learned things that are not things that we taught them. And
Mhm.
so it's just a little different. They just think differently than we do.
Well, and in
How
your
do you
case,
manage
you
them? How
have
do you manage the generations? A big
yeah, like,
gap like that.
I think there is the generations, but also, like, what you're saying is your kid is actually neurodiverse, right? Asperger's
Mhm.
or autism is, like so that
Yeah.
means, like, your brain just works differently than typical people. So, like, we can't expect someone who's, like, brain physically doesn't see the world the way a neurotypical person does.
Right.
So there is generational differences for sure, but this would even just be like, understanding
He doesn't understand that he does have something different about his brain that's
yeah,
not he
right.
doesn't see things the way
Yes.
you would normally think that somebody would see them. I get
Yeah.
that because
Yeah.
I've raised him and I've been through
You
every
know
IEP meeting, and I've done,
Mhm.
and so I get that, but my husband doesn't.
And a lot of the typical parenting stuff just doesn't work. Like there are so many things that you could do even now to support your son, but it's not the typical old school thing. That's usually like the worst. Like that's I can already see the fireworks that are probably happening with those two personalities. I can see it all. Great dad, great kid, but like fireworks
Yeah, and
because of two
together they're like
very
not good
different
together.
perspectives. And like your
Yeah,
son, because the way his brain works, it's going to be much harder for him to change his perspective because he's neurodiverse and 25 is when our brain is actually fully formed. So
yeah,
he's like an adult, but like still he
right.
doesn't have as much availability maybe in his brain as your husband does, but like so much is available for your son if we really understand how his brain works and how we can teach to communicate that the way he needs to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in a lot of therapy, so he is
Yeah.
getting better at communicating. It's my
Good.
husband. It's my
Yeah.
husband.
And sometimes the men don't wanna work on it. They just kinda want, like, the kid to change. I mean, all of us sometimes, like, it would
Yes,
be much easier if my kid could just magically change versus me having to do the work to change myself.
right.
Which makes sense. If that worked, that would be amazing. It just doesn't work. Our kids don't change
At
just 'cause we
all.
want them to.
Not these type of children.
Not these type of children. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my mom always said, like, when you're 27, you realize, like, all the things you've done bad in your life, and at 27 is a magical age. That the
Oh.
girls would always turn like, the girls would always realize that the relationship with their mom wasn't like what they thought, and
Mm.
they turn around and they're like, "Oh, I get it now," you know? And my mom said 27 is the magical age. That's what she said.
7, okay, so you have 3 more years.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's the same for boys.
Oh,
I think girls are a little bit different, but
yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying wives tell. My mom. Um, excuse me. Okay. So you too have children that have neurodiverse, complex kids is what we can call them.
I do.
um, how did um how did that change your approach in, like, your career path, or how does that change your approach with parenting?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very thankful for all the experience that I have, because it really helps. It's like a great I already have a lot of the tools and skills, that they need me to have, so that's been great where a lot of other of us have to go out and learn more of that. My kids are like opposite. So I definitely wish if I was going to have, two neurodiverse kids, it could be like the same thing so I could figure it out once. But if not, that's not how it is. It's like figuring it out, multiple times. Um, but I think it's really just given me so much more compassion for parents, just like the daily struggle, like how long the minutes are. I can just really relate to a lot of those emotions, and I can see like how like I do a lot of work, like I understand that the behavioral responses come easier to me because I've done that forever, and I'm able to pretty easily figure out what they need and the best way to give that to them and like teach them the skills they're missing. But the my own emotional regulation and like me being okay even if they're not okay, and me not letting that affect my day or like be overwhelmed with worry. Um, Learning how to do that to keep myself really regulated, that has
Like
been
you sound very positive all the time.
yeah, often. Yeah. I Something I've been working on believing and I'm like is like I'm just living my best life right now, even though my kids have challenges and, of course life isn't perfect, but like I try to find all the ways where this is like my best life right now, even amidst the struggles.
Well, you sound like at a young age you've done a lot. Um, you got your education, started a business. I mean, had a relationship. We have children. I mean, it sounds like the dream, like American dream. I mean, sounds great. I mean, sounds like, and you're so positive. I too started a business,
Yeah.
preschool business.
Cool.
Found my husband, then started the business. But we've been together 28 years, so
Wow,
um,
congratulations.
yeah, so it's a marriage is hard, but you just gotta compromise and be good friends to one another. And then
Yeah,
if you have a positive relationship with your significant other, makes a lot of difference with the
yes,
kids too and how they turn out.
definitely.
So
Yeah, we've been
just keep
married,
that
I
in
think,
mind, people.
18 years now.
18 years?
So a while. Yeah.
That is a long time and you're
Yeah,
so young still.
I know. I got married
Uh,
really young. I'm glad it
yeah.
worked out for me. My husband is great, but I was
I'm
young.
like you. I married not as young, 27.
Okay.
But yeah, I was really lucky too.
Mhm.
I one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
Um so okay, so my son, well, I was too. Like I probably had all kinds of isms when I was younger.
Uh-huh.
Um because I was very hyper, very talkative, go
Uh-huh.
go go all the time, all
Uh-huh.
the kind of energy. But um what I know that typical advice for strong-willed kids, how come that fails for kids that are like neurodiverse? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. No, that's a
for
great
somebody who's
question.
like strong-willed kid, I mean, a lot of neurodiverse or strong-willed kids. My son is one of them too.
Yeah.
He gets it from me most likely, but
Yeah. Strong-willed people are change the world, so it's such a good thing to have. As an adult, it's just hard to, like, parent that when they're tiny. Um, I think one of the main reasons why a lot of, like, the typical strategies often don't work for these kids is, like, if you were to Google, "How do I make my kid stop having a tantrum?" or, like, "How do I help my kid get a job?" Right? It would give you a list of, I don't know, 10 to 20 things, that are all would work for some kids, but it's all very generic. That's like treating that all tantrums are the same and they happen for the same reason. And that's like, I think the error. That's the thought error right there. Because every kid can tantrum for a lot of different reasons.
it's communication,
It's
really.
communication and they're communicating different things. So some of the things on that list of 10 to 20 things are for this type of communication. Some of them are for that type of communication. But if you're just trying them all, you're like missing it. So I think of it as like the behavior that you see is maybe like the weeds coming up, right? But the root cause is like why they're doing it, what they're trying to communicate with you. And it's usually because they're missing some skills. They don't have a better way yet of getting that need met. So this is like their best attempt. And when we just like, you know, yell at it or just try random strategies, we're just kind of like hacking at the weeds. We're not addressing the underlying cause. But when we figure out what they are trying to communicate and we give them better ways to communicate that, then we're like actually pulling the weed out by the root. So now it won't keep coming back. We're actually solving it because if you teach your kid how to, you know, say, Mom, I don't want that instead of having a tantrum, you're going to have less tantrums.
Like use your words.
Yeah. Yeah. But, like, actually teaching it in a way they'll learn also, right? Because if you just
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
them to use their words, that usually does not work. My youngest
I
is
know.
4, so
Am
I
I
know.
well, I've got a 32,
Mhm.
24, and 15.
Oh, wow.
and I taught preschool for like 15 years.
Oh.
So I
My
saw
mom was a
all
preschool teacher for a really
yeah,
long time.
all these kids that were in my preschool and I wiped their butt. They are now getting married. And
Oh,
it's a
crazy.
crazy thing to see.
That's crazy.
It's very cool. Um, yeah. Do you think it's dangerous to label these type of kids that are strong-willed, like, as difficult or bad? I mean, like, is there a
Yeah, I think words are really powerful. And so I don't think, I mean, everyone can be difficult or has difficult moments or maybe like makes the wrong choice or like a bad choice. I can't even say bad. I have to like do quotation marks, right? But like,
okay.
does that mean they're like a difficult human or like a bad human? Like, no. So I think anytime we're labeling anyone with that, like any kind of like all encompassing thing, like we're missing it. And then that actually like teaches our brain to start looking for more. Like our brain always wants to prove what we think. So if we keep thinking our kid's difficult, our brain's gonna always offer us all the evidence for why that's true. And our brain will spend time all 24/7 looking for that evidence and telling us. Whereas if we can switch it to like, "Oh, my kid is doing their very best, but they're just having a hard time." Now my brain might look for evidence for that and looking for all the chances that same kid is really trying their best and maybe doing the right thing or at least like not coloring on the walls or throwing chairs or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I too have 2 different children. One,
Mm,
not social at all. He is
uh-huh,
not social. My other one is a social butterfly.
uh-huh.
Loves everybody, wants to talk to everybody,
Yeah,
friends everybody, believes in everything, you know? They're just totally, totally different, but I try to, like, with my Piper, she has, a chromosomal disorder, 16p, with duplication. So and she has cerebral palsy and she can't verbal is not her communication skills are terrible. Like
yeah,
she leaves off the beginning and the end of a word. So you
okay.
really don't know what she's saying half
Yeah,
the time. Unless it's in context and you kind of can grasp what
right.
she's trying to say. So it's really hard. So my
Yeah,
husband and I don't know why we look at my son differently than her. And so
uh-huh.
with my daughter, it's like as long as you get through school, like get through
Yeah,
school, like we don't give her if she gets upset because she got a bad grade in PE. Well, she's physically disabled. So I'm like, girl, as long
yeah,
as you walked, I don't care what you did. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? So, but we don't, I don't put pressure on her for grades
yeah,
at all. But she's also not in a regular inclusive class. So her grades are all A's and B's now, but they used
yeah,
to not be so much.
yeah, yeah,
With my son, he's like a straight A student. And so I did, and I never really called him bad or difficult, but I did look at him differently because I
mhm,
knew his abilities were not the same. Obviously, they're also 8 years apart. So I had
yeah,
to learn with him, and I grew as a parent, and I'm a better parent to my daughter because of
yeah,
my son. But, those are the things you do through life, like, you don't treat every child the same because every child is different and circumstances change. The way schools handle the kids are different
mhm,
than when my daughter was 32, and how they're handling the children now are totally different.
yeah,
There's just all these different things, and so as a parent, you know, here I am, I come to you and I'm like, I've had this type of parenting experience with the
yeah,
32-year-old. I've got this one with this 24, and then I've had all of this with this other one. And each one of them, all three of them, ADHD,
yeah,
one's got depression, and then one's got depression and Asperger's, and then
yeah,
my daughter who's also autism. My daughter has
yeah,
autism and she's got this
yeah,
intellectual disability.
yeah,
So I've
girl,
got
you have a lot going on.
Nah, I've been to so many IEPs that when they say, "Would you like
Uh-huh.
to have the parents'
Oh,
rights?"
I'm
I'm
like, "Do
like,
not
"No,
give
I
me
have
that
them.
again.
They're like laminated in my
Do
back
not
room,
give
like, I
that to
don't need
me."
them."
Yes.
So I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, I've got all these different kind of
Yeah,
parenting, but I'm still, like, struggling. And
yeah,
so and that is why possibly your type of coaching is
mhm,
good, and also you were aware of the modern child, which is different than my 32-year-old and different than my
yeah, right,
do you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So,
and you have,
that
like you're raising, like, different generations.
I know, it's
Yeah.
nuts. I know, millennial, Gen Z, and then my 15, I don't think what are they?
I don't I don't I keep forgetting.
I don't know what I don't know what they were gonna be.
I don't know.
What's the youngest generation? What is your kids? I don't know, they're probably the same as mine.
I cannot think of the name for
I
right
don't
now,
know the name
but it's
either.
something. Yeah.
That's so
Not
crazy.
it's after Gen Z for sure, 'cause my oldest is about to turn 12, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like they're total, and they're all
But it might
3
be Gen
different type
Alpha.
one. It's just different. So I'm just trying to put it out there, like, to people that, like,
Yeah.
what you think you thought you knew might not be for your oldest, might not be the same for your
Mhm.
youngest, especially
Yeah.
because schools are different and expectations are different and the children are different. We've got social media. My kids don't have
Mhm.
like accounts,
Yeah.
social media accounts, but I think they don't want one. They don't haven't asked me.
Good.
So I don't,
That's
I
so much easier. Yeah.
my youngest though will go onto my Instagram because she likes to see the pictures I post
Oh,
to
yeah.
me. So, and
Yeah.
she
She's
watches
fangirling,
YouTube. I
yeah.
let her watch YouTube, but she watches those little kids play with Barbies. Like, oh, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
she's really, and other kids unwrapping presents. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's into that type of stuff.
Love that. That's so funny.
But okay, so let's back up. Let's rewind because I'm got off on a tangent. So,
Yeah, well,
okay,
actually, can I
yeah,
tell you something that made me
yeah,
think of?
yes,
So, I like to think of, like, your parenting tools as, like, almost like literal tools that you have on a tool belt. So, like, I imagine myself wearing a tool belt, right? And often, like, we just get the tools that our parents gave us. That was our model. That's what we
right,
watched for 18 years, right? And our parents were doing the best they could with the tools they had, but they might not have had a lot of tools or might not have had tools that were a good fit for what we needed. And so, like, some of us have already came with lots of different tools, and maybe it's working great for your kids, but a lot of us didn't have all the tools that we need, or like we have a lot of tools, but it's still not working for this one kid or for this other kid because we don't have the right tool for them yet. And so I always view all of it, if there is a disconnect or lots of stress, like it's really like as the adult, we just need to go out and get the right tool for that kid. But that's where the overwhelm can come in because there's so many different tools and Google tells you so many different things and your friends tell you something different. And there's like, we're in information overload and so much of it contradicts and it's confusing. And all of it is like most of the stuff out there that I look at is not wrong. I see why they recommended that, but that doesn't mean it's going to work for your specific family and your specific child's personality and the way their brain works. It's just
right.
be a lot more custom.
And for all those men out there, the two that are probably listening, it's like brake pads. Like you think you can change the brake pads on your car, but then you go to do it and you're like, oh, this car's different than my Ford. And now I have to have a special tool just to get that dang brake pad off.
Yeah.
And then you have to go and get the tool at yeah, Auto Depot or whatever you want to call them. And it's like that, you just like,
Yeah.
you think it's the same thing. It's a brake pad and you think it's going to work the same as it did your last car.
Mhm.
But now this new model takes
Right.
another certain type of an instrument to take it out. And
Yeah.
so that's what I'm saying. For men out there, it's kind of like that.
There you go. Yeah. And that's like where I come in is I'm like, no, this tool is the one you need for this kid, for this behavior and this developmental phase.
You're
Because
like
I've
the
done
Auto
this for so
Depot.
long. What's that?
You're the Auto Depot or
Exactly.
the Pet Boys or whatever.
Yeah.
You're the person that goes, no, no, no. This is what you need.
Not that one. Yeah, you need this one. Exactly. My husband would laugh if he heard that because I am terrible with cars. But yes,
Me
that
too.
in this
I,
analogy, yeah.
I think I said Auto Depot, and I don't even know if that's an actual store. I don't even know. And I don't even know if Pet Boys is even around anymore.
I
I don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't know either. Okay, so you have 5-step framework for calm confidence. Let's start with that. What are the 5 steps?
Yeah. So these are this is my guide process. I created this based on decades of research and then of course all my own professional and personal experience. But basically you can go through these 5 steps for any behavior for any age and any stage. So I love teaching this because then once parents get it, they can keep using it on and on and on for their kids' whole life because kids get bigger and behaviors change, but they're probably always going to have some kind of challenging behavior. And so
Hmm.
the 5 steps are the first step is gathering data. And so I tell my clients to pick one behavior to work on at a time. So we're just picking one thing. Often we're like, I'm going to change all the things, right? And then, no more screen time and we're not throwing away candy and we're only eating vegetables. And, we like tend to go too big and then we get really overwhelmed and our kids hate it. And then we like kind of go back to the beginning. So where I come in is we're like going to keep things simple and focus on going through this with one behavior, maybe the thing that's bothering you the most or taking up the most of your time, we can start with that one. And then we're going to focus on getting really good with that behavior. And then once that's a habit for you and your kid, we use that momentum to then tackle the next thing and then the next thing. And then each time you'll notice it gets faster and faster as you get better with the process and as your kid develops more skills. So that's the first one. We also start tracking the behavior. Like we really figure out what it is, when is it happening, what's happening before and after. Usually in life we just go through things so quickly, we don't kind of stop. So we just get stuck in these same patterns without actually analyzing the patterns.
Yeah,
And
like
so
my one's let me back up. My daughter, she gets mad about something and because we don't have good communication, she has a hard time. And if
yeah,
she's not understanding what my she likes to
yeah,
listen in on our conversations and she
yep,
thinks things are about her. And I'm
uh-huh,
like, it's not about you. And she's like, fine, fine. And then she'll huff off and go to her room and slam the door.
mhm,
And she does this a lot. And because
yeah,
she's afraid that we're talking about her in some way
oh,
or
uh-huh,
because we're constantly talking about doctors and things a lot. So, and
yeah,
she's very, very, she has a lot of anxiety over doctors. And so, because she also has a bad heart, she has to have another
mm,
open heart surgery soon. And
oh,
so
yeah,
when she starts thinking about having to go back and get an MRI or something, she starts freaking out.
yeah,
But one other thing is she does this a lot and almost every night she'll huff and puff and run to not run, but stomp to her
yeah,
room, slam the door. Then 2 minutes later or a
mhm,
minute later, and
mhm,
we've moved on, him and I are talking about something totally
yeah,
else, and we barely noticed that she huffed and puffed and went to her room.
yeah,
She'll come out and she'll go, "I'm sorry about my behavior, mom.
oh, sweet girl,
I'm sorry." And I'm
yeah,
like, yeah, no, it's okay. Just don't slam your door next time."
yeah,
And we try to like tell her like, you don't, just talk to us. You don't need to
yeah,
take off, you know what I mean?
yeah,
But she does this every day, almost every day.
okay,
And she huffs off every day. And I don't know what to like I don't know, do I chase her down because maybe that's what she wants? I don't know.
okay, well, do you want we can go through the step process with this behavior if
Yes,
you want.
let's do that.
Okay, let's do it. So I would have you like really start noticing like maybe like what you're talking about that piques her interest, maybe the time of day, if this is always happening at the same time of day, like
Evening. Yeah.
okay, it's happening in the evening. So there might be some hungry, tired factors that we could consider, right? And
Tired.
then usually it sounds like after she comes back, there's like a conversation about it,
Yeah.
right? Where she's not talking to you and then now she is talking to you. Okay.
Right.
So so that's what we would do for step one. Step two is when we are really going to kind of investigate and work on our own triggers about the behaviors. Because often these behaviors are triggering an emotional reaction from us. And then in those moments, like we become triggered. So, whenever we have whenever humans have an emotional reaction, the blood leaves our brain, you know, and it goes more to our body so we can like run or fight, which is not super helpful when it's your, daughter just huffing off. And we can't think logically or rationally. So even if you know the perfect plan, because you read that book or whatever, you know exactly what to do, you can't follow through with it in a calm way because it's bringing up big emotions for you. So step two is a big one. And that's where we really work on your thoughts about it, your perspective about it, the feelings that it brings up, and we help
It's
you.
annoying. That's what we think.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like annoying. Like, come
Yeah.
on, grow up. You're 15. But
Yeah.
I mean, I know with her, she's intellectually immature. So
Right.
we get it. But so we're kind of letting her do it is
Yeah.
another thing. Is like we're not
Yeah.
enabling her, but we're not
Yeah.
forcing her to stop
Right.
or,
I mean,
you
if
know
it
what I
keeps happening, she's getting something out of this, right? If it's happening every single night,
yeah.
it created some kind of like unique
Teenage
habits.
drama. I think she thinks
Teenage.
like because they believe that even my son, I've been both of them. My son feels like I'm a man. I can talk to you any way I want to because I'm a man. And my daughter is like, I'm a teenager and I need to learn to huff and puff and be broody and be in
Mhm.
my room and be, and be like a teenage girl. Like that's how she
Yeah,
feels. It's
maybe.
weird. Both of them are
Okay.
weirdos.
Yeah.
Love 'em,
Okay.
but they're my weirdos.
Yeah. So I would work with you. I have like another process where we really work on even like that it's bringing up feelings of annoyance. Like you could keep telling yourself that this is annoying and she shouldn't be doing this like every single day. And like I don't even know if you're wrong, but then you're going to keep being stuck in this pattern every single day. And you're going to keep feeling annoyed every single day. And you don't have to, right? So we can kind of switch how you think about the behavior. Right. So if you're like, oh, she's trying to tell me something, or oh, like she's communicating to me right now, or she's just having a hard time and I can help. Like those thoughts versus like she shouldn't be doing this, she's too old for this, right? Like that might help put you in like a better emotional state. Because if you respond out of annoyance, it's usually does not go as well as it could, right? So I always try to stay with my favorite emotions for parenting. For me, it can be different for everyone, but like any thoughts that help me feel calm or confident or compassionate or curious about what's going on for my kid. Like I want to focus on thinking those thoughts, especially in those moments when they're doing that thing.
Because when they're younger, you can go, "Oh, you're making me so sad," and then
Mhm.
because you're faking out like you're crying and like,
Yeah.
"Oh, mommy, I'm sorry. It's okay."
Yeah.
I used to do that when they were younger, when they weren't being nice or something. I go,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're making me so sad," and then they and then they changed their tune. I had a doctor tell me that he was on my show and he said one of the things you can do is if you're in an argument with your teen or something is turn around and walk away and you take yourself out of the situation completely and you give yourself a timeout.
Mhm.
Kids are like, "Wait, where are you going?" Like, and want to follow you into your space, and you need to shut the door and not let them in and lock it. And you just be like, "I need a timeout." And a lot of times you removing yourself from the situation because now the kids aren't getting what they thought they wanted from you,
Mhm.
which is just a response of like, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah. Yeah.
He goes,
Well,
sometimes just doing that, removing yourself sometimes will help a situation. But in our case with my daughter, she's almost like she's huffing and puffing and we're not even noticing it. And
mhm.
I get it. I realize I kind of see it from the side of my eye that she's walking down the hall
Yeah.
and then she slams her door and we look at each other and I go, "She mad?" Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then she comes out and then she says, "I'm sorry," like as if she did something wrong.
Yeah.
But I think she goes to her room and she kind of cusses or yells in her room
Okay.
at whoever. Like
Yeah.
she lets it out
Yeah.
verbally,
Yeah.
not at us, but I guess she's cussing at us in her words probably.
Yeah. Or loudly in
Like,
her head.
I mean, didn't we do that when we were teenagers? I hate my mother. I hate my mother.
Yeah. I mean, teenagers, like, just all the emotions and words just kinda tend to come out in a flow, right? And so, her version of that she's gonna have her own version of that, but
And it does look different than a normal teenager, just so you know, people. This isn't my daughter. Like most kids, a lot of kids that aren't neurodiverse will express their way they are in a total different way. I have a child with special needs, and this is what she's doing, and it's
exactly.
weird. Okay, I don't know how to navigate it because none of my kids have ever done it,
Yeah.
and now my daughter is doing weird things.
Yeah. It's not even that weird. Don't worry. So, like, that would take me to, like, the next step. So, step 3 is that's where we are going to understand the why behind the behavior. And so, like, there's, 4 main kind of causes or, like, ways to things that we're trying to communicate with behavior. Attention is one of them, right? And so, like, the example of, like, the adult timeout you gave, like, I will always give parents permission to do that. Like, I would say, "I need a timeout because 'cause I'm having big feelings." This is what I tell my kids. If I need a second to reset myself. But I would know that, like, if my kid is doing whatever they're doing for my attention, that will also probably help that behavior because 'cause I'm no longer, like, watering it with my attention. But
Right.
if my kid does not want to do their homework or brush their teeth, and then I take a timeout for myself, now I'm actually probably feeding their behavior because most likely they're just acting out to try to get out of that homework or try to get that toothbrush to go away. So then if I take a timeout for myself or put them on timeout, now I'm actually like I'm paying them. I'm paying them in their currency. They really wanted to get out of that thing or at least like
Now
make
they're
it go
getting
away
out of
for a
it.
little bit.
Right.
And that's where that why comes in. So we want to make sure we accidentally end up paying for behaviors we don't want. And we want to make sure we're paying for the behaviors we do want and not for the behaviors we don't.
Yeah, and catch them being good, that's another thing.
Good.
Like, instead of always being the person that says bad things to your
Yeah.
kids, like, "You shouldn't and don't," and "Why
Yeah.
did you?" and this and that.
Yeah.
You need to turn around and say, "I just wanna say thank you. I think what you just did was really awesome," or,
Yeah.
"I saw that pushed your chair in when you left the table. Thank you for that. I mean, it
Yes.
helps I don't trip over it."
Right, instead of like, "We
Or
left it out again." We only notice when they mess up, and our brain
uh,
has that negativity bias, so the way our brain works is we only notice when things are wrong,
yeah.
unless we do a lot of work to retrain it, and that's where, like, really focusing on how we're thinking about our kids can help, because if we're thinking more positive, helpful thoughts about them, then our brain's gonna look for more evidence of that, and we're gonna notice more of all the good things they're doing.
Like, say a few good things before you say the bad thing.
Yeah.
Like, you have something that you really wanna tell him, just go try to think of before you tell him the bad thing, get to
Yeah.
a couple good things, and then the bad thing won't sting as bad.
Yeah, or, like, just always be telling them the good things, and that way when they do hear a bad thing sometimes if you say the good things and the bad thing, they forget all the good things and they just focus on the bad thing. But if you're just constantly noticing the other good things they're doing, when you have to talk to them and give them feedback that might be more hard to hear, they kinda have like you've invested a lot in their little bank. So it's not you can just take out a little bit and it's fine, versus if
Yeah,
it's only negative and then you're overdrawn.
I try to tell him, "Thank you for doing that, and thank you for that. I
Yeah, that's
appreciate
great.
that," or I
Yeah.
saw that you emptied those, thank you," and or whatever,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
try to do that as much as possible, but it's hard because he doesn't do very much,
Yeah.
and so it's, like,
He's
few and far between, but every time he
focused on what
does,
he
I
does.
make
Yeah.
sure
Good.
I say something
Yeah, and
about
that
it,
is
but
good. It also like attention, I mean, I would always add that on because attention is like in society kind of a currency that we all work on. So I always try to pair whatever their specific payout is with attention. But attention might not actually be his payout. So still do it. But if you're noticing he's not really doing it more with the attention, that might just not be what's motivating for him.
payout for both my kids is money. They are
Okay,
like
there you go. I mean,
they
for
like
me
their
too.
mommy.
For all of us.
Money was
So
always a big thing.
yeah,
Anyways, go on, I'm sorry.
for your daughter, like for the huffing, right? It sounds like she maybe has like an internal state of feeling anxious about something, right?
Yeah,
She feels like she doesn't know a lot. She's like trying to maybe make that feeling go away. And then she does that maybe by huffing off and slamming and cursing. And, the slamming the door might be a problem. If she's doing other stuff in her room, that's actually like pretty good coping skills, right? She's not saying it to anyone, like she's getting it out.
like
Um,
self-regulating
yeah,
herself
she like, it sounds like she
emotionally.
has some yeah, it's like
Right,
she's learning self-regulation skills, but maybe missing some skills there. And then she's coming back and then kind of, like, starting a conversation with you guys.
and apologizing is hard to do, and she does it a lot.
Yeah, and so it sounds like it might not be hard for her, but it might be like she has learned when she's feeling nervous, if she goes through this pattern, then she gets attention from you guys.
Yeah.
So some of it might be
I was gonna
trying to
ask you
preempt
about
that.
practical tools for emotional regulation. Like, when she was younger, she used to watch Daniel Tiger. I don't
I
know if
love
you've ever.
Daniel Tiger. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
and so he used to do this counting 1, 2, 3, or whatever it was.
When you feel so mad that you
Yes,
wanna roar. Oh, I know,
yes.
girl. I
So,
told you I have
like,
a 4-year-old right now.
she used to do at school when she was little and all the way
Yeah,
up, and then she used to now she does that, and then
so good.
then her one of her counselors taught her something about the turtle or something about a turtle
Uh-huh.
timer or something. I forget what it was,
Okay. Yeah,
but
yeah.
anyway, my daughter was good about that, and she took it from a cartoon and it worked, and her counselor or teachers and everybody would tell me, like, man, she does this thing, and she even said, because her teacher looked like she because her teacher said I was feeling a certain way, and Piper told her to come God, Piper told her how to
Oh,
regulate,
yeah.
and her
That's
because
sweet.
that's one thing about my daughter, man, she has got a heart of gold. Everybody,
Yeah.
and I know everybody always does this, but they always tell me how wonderful she is and they love
Yeah.
her. Even her bus drivers would call me and go, "We're gonna miss her
Oh,
next year."
that's the best. They do not say that to everyone. So
They
that's really
don't. Oh,
sweet.
yeah, they just love my daughter. Every
Yeah.
year it's a different teacher. And then I used to drop her off at school, and all these kids used to wait at the other school, but not this one, but because I don't drop her off at this one, but they used to wait at the fence for her, for Piper to
Oh,
come in, and they'd go, "Here she comes." And then
the
she was like a
best.
little popular little thing.
I
They
love
loved
it.
her. She
And
was
she's
and
the
so
social one that wants all that, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
she
Oh,
loves keep friends, and
yeah.
she makes friends with everybody. She doesn't have any biases, and that's one thing about special needs children, or complex children, however you wanna call them.
Yeah.
They don't have any, like,
Yeah.
they don't care. They love
Yeah.
y'all,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's me.
Oh,
Do you have any tools, though,
wonderful.
that I mean, d what do you tell your clients about noticing when they need to start to self-regulate their emotions so they're not like my
Yeah.
son who sprouts off anger all the time,
Yeah.
you know?
So that takes us right to step 4, which is adding things into the behavior. Like once you know why they're doing it, like kind of some of the skills they're missing, right? So if it is a way to regulate their emotions or a way to get attention, that just means we need to teach them better ways to do those things that are more appropriate. And then make sure we're really paying them for those new behaviors. And so emotional regulation, I mean, there's a lot of adults that didn't learn that as kids too. A lot of my clients, like, we're like helping them learn it too. So it's really like one of the best gifts we can give our kids is for us to learn how to do it better so we can teach them. Um, a common one is like taking deep breaths, which is great. I do love Daniel Tiger, but that often, like, it's not enough. And like, if we're already like, it kind of depends on how escalated they are, right? I think of behavior as like a staircase. And so if you're at the top of the staircase, very escalated, you don't say anything to them, right? They're just all emotion. We're not taking deep breaths, right? Deep breaths might work when it's like a little feeling. Bigger feelings might need more, right? So anger tends to be a big feeling. That's
Like when
one.
she's like,
Yeah.
Ryan, no, you know.
I mean, every kid is so different. So, like, whatever the
Mm.
kids latch onto, you try. Like, it's kind of about trying a lot of things and seeing what helps their, emotions calm down. If breathing is working, great. But like in his anger, what does he like to yell? What does he tend to do when he's angry?
He'll yell and then he gets aggressive.
Okay,
He's starting to. If you smirk back at him and mock him for his anger or you in any way, it can be a violent thing.
okay. So for anger, usually that requires more like big body movements to get it out. And we want to like I tell my kids all the time, like it's okay to have those feelings in your body. It's okay to feel angry. Like all your feelings are okay. We just have to like get it out of your body in a healthy way. So for anger, often that requires like um maybe like running or doing jumping jacks or push-ups or um sometimes kids like, screaming into a pillow or hitting a bed with a pillow or throwing like, bean bags into a basketball hoop or something. So like something more physical that involves more of the body to like work the anger out.
Yeah, I mean, we have a punching bag in the garage. He can go to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want him to get, punchy, but I think that like you said, sometimes you just have to be physically almost exhausted from that to where the anger doesn't feel as explosive.
Yeah.
You
Or
know what I
it's even
mean?
like noticing the anger when it's smaller, right? Sometimes humans don't notice our feelings till they're really big. And so then when it's really big, it is much harder to manage it. But if we can just be a lot more in tune with our emotions, we can notice it at the beginning. And then we're like, oh man, I need to go for a run or I need to go for a walk or I
You
need to
don't think
go
that the
punching bag.
adrenaline can like make it worse or like they'll turn back around and like now they're all amped up? Like,
Um, that's like definitely a theory, but there's a lot more research on the nervous system and everything now where um y- I think it's like how you present it and how you teach your child to use it.
yeah.
There might be occasional kids that it gets them worse, and then I wouldn't, do that. But I think that's just more like some kids might like calming things more when they're angry. So then you would just know, okay, this is not helpful. I'm going to try a different one. So most humans, I've noticed when they're angry, it is more of the big body movements, but some people swear by deep breaths still. Or some people like to sit down with like a maybe a weighted blanket on them when they're really angry, and that like lets it out. I will go on walks, and I've noticed if I stomp my feet, that helps get my anger out. That's like my new thing, and all my neighbors probably think I'm crazy because I'm walking down the neighborhood, stomping my feet super hard. Um, but like whatever works and kind of whatever feels good to get that emotion out in a more healthy way.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna stomp. No, I don't know.
Yeah. I like
Go get on.
imagine like little footprints of anger behind me, like sizzling, and I'm like, that's all my anger going out.
I mean, I don't, you know what I do? I don't get, it's weird. I don't get angry like I used to. I used to get
Mhm.
angry a lot when I was a younger mom,
Yeah.
and now I don't anymore. Isn't that weird? Maybe I'm just getting too old. Going through the changes. Now I'm angry if it's hot in the house. That's all I
Yeah.
care about right now.
there's the trigger. I don't think stomping will help that one as much.
I actually wear this stupid little thing.
I bought one of those.
I love it.
I think it's starting for me, so I'm investing in all the things.
I bought it for when we went to Mexico, and I'm like, I ain't
Uh-huh.
gonna be hot, and then it didn't really help.
Oh, okay.
Because it was so humid, it's like.
Yeah, sometimes you can only
But
little
now
fan like
because,
this isn't
like,
gonna help all the air.
between episodes sometimes, I'm like right now I feel great, but sometimes I'll be so hot that I'll be having it on, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Fixing myself." I have a
yeah.
fan right here.
You are
Just wait to
ready.
get to the change. Oh,
Yeah.
lordy, lordy.
Yeah.
What about parents that are like me? Because I have mom guilt and,
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know. What do you feel about that, like, in comparison to, like, other cultures and how, I mean, we have to self-care, right? You gotta
Yeah,
self-care.
I mean, mom guilt is so real, and I think, like, I've worked with families of all different cultures, and, like, why we feel guilty is a l seems like it varies I'm not an expert in this by any way. This is just my
Right,
observations. Maybe
right.
why we feel guilty might be different, but, like, the guilt is there. We just kinda tend to make it our fault. And so I do a lot of work with my clients on that because that guilt is not true and it's not helpful. And, like, I use this analogy, like, when you are parenting, like, a high needs kid, like your kids and my kids and lots of your listeners' kids, I'm sure, like, it's, like, kinda like you're scaling a mountain, right? Like, the behaviors feel so hard, you're just, like, giving all you've got to try to climb up this mountain every day. But then we are, like, carrying a backpack full of bricks, and, like, every brick in there is the mom, "I'm not enough, I'm a bad mom, I'm doing this wrong, I'm failing them," like, all those terrible thoughts that we, like, hear on repeat on a tape in our head, like, we're carrying that while trying to scale this mountain.
Right.
So then we're so exhausted, we can't even it drains our energy and our joy. So then when we are trying to manage the behaviors and scale the mountain, we don't have as much. And so a huge part is like putting that back, taking the backpack off. And then when we work on behaviors, then it's no longer this steep cliff. It's just like a little hill that we walk on together without a backpack full of bricks. Like that's
Yeah.
so happy and positive because that's my experience of parenting 3 kids, 2 neurodiverse high needs kids, and 1 4-year-old. So like, you know, that's something. Um,
I'm just saying
yeah,
that, like, even the fact that they have these
yeah,
complexities puts a lot of guilt on you as a parent because you're
yeah,
like, "I did this to them. I'm
yeah.
like, they were born that way because of me." And
Mhm,
or like, all my kids have all these normal kids that are doing normal
mhm,
things, and
mhm.
my kids probably won't have children, and my
Yeah,
kids probably won't I won't be a grandma, there's just a lot of
yeah,
things that are, you
yeah.
carry with you. Yeah, and, like, the backpack is full of bricks.
Yeah, and so, like, all of those emotions are so normal and human, and just like I tell my kids, like, all of our emotions are okay. Like, the guilt is it's so normal. The grief that you're experiencing of, like, what you
Mhm.
thought your
Yeah.
life is a mom and a grandma would be like, grieving that life is so real, and, like, you need to do that, but we usually don't make space for those emotions. We just kinda shove them down, and we shove them in the backpack, and then we just carry them around, and then it just makes it harder for us because 'cause we're carrying it instead of, like, releasing it.
It's funny because I used to always say a lot of things when I was younger. "Oh, I hope I don't have a kid like that. I hope I
Mhm.
don't ever have that skin problem. I hope I never have to be fat like that lady, and, oh, I hope I never this and that," and all the things that I thought that I never wanted, God gave me. And I always said to myself, like, "Man," because I did say back in when I was younger, like, I used to always say, like, "I wish this. No, I don't want that. I don't want this." And now I've been given all of those things, and I just
Yeah.
feel as though he did it to make me stronger
Mhm.
because he knew that I could handle the journey.
Yeah.
So, God only puts things in your life that he knows you can handle,
Yeah.
and, you're stronger for it, for sure.
Yeah.
But
I
staying
love to think that,
grounded.
like, God gives us things that he knows so we'll have to depend on him, right?
Right,
Not he's not giving it to us because he thinks we're strong to handle it on our own, but he's like, "This is something that you're gonna need my help with." And
right.
that's, like, the goal is to, like, lean on him more.
Yeah, for sure, and that's
Yeah.
why we also talk about him a lot,
Yeah.
and that is why I try to do it almost in every episode.
Yeah.
'Cause he's out there, people, he's real. Okay, how do people stay grounded when, like in my life, how nothing goes by the book? Like I
Uh-huh.
said, like, I was given all the wrong things. Like, my
Yeah.
my journey was not like what I thought it was gonna be. Like, how do you
Yeah.
stay
Yeah.
grounded when nothing's going by the book?
I think some of it is just, like, having a perspective where I don't think there is a book. I don't have
Yeah, I guess that's
expectations that it'll, like, go well, right? I just kinda
you wrote
I
the book, I
usually
coulda read it at the very beginning, not the very end of my life. Hello.
Yeah, I just, like, will expect it, like, it's a lot better now, but for a while, one of my kids would just have a really hard time when we went anywhere, and so we had to leave a lot of events that were there for the other kids for this one kid, and so we just started taking like, I spent time grieving that. That was hard, but then I'm like, "Okay, well, what are we gonna do about this?" So we just would take we're lucky to have 2 cars, we would take 2 cars everywhere. We just always plan for that. Like, if we need to go, we're great, we're ready for that. If we can stay, then wonderful, that's great too. So, I think a lot of it is, like, getting to that acceptance point and then just making plans around it. Like, how can we solve
Accommodations.
this?
Yeah, like, making
Yeah.
accommodations, for
But if
sure.
we're always, like, fighting and, like, kinda stuck, it's very easy to get stuck in that, like, grief and, like, woe is me and this is so unfair that I don't get to do this. Like that's like I've experienced those traps too. So I love, I mean, it's a harder journey than I would have picked also, but I do love like how I can just see other people's journey so much more clearly because I've gone through it myself. And it's like, yeah, the more we sit in the grief, like we need to process the grief and then move on and like take action. But it's so easy to just get stuck in the like wishing it wasn't there and wanting it to go away and like complaining about it. And so like the key there is like, I'm going to accept that this is what's happening right now. I'm going to do everything I can to change it and make it better. But in the meantime, here's where we're at. And how can I make this still like the best life possible for all of us?
What's okay, I get that, but is there one specific mind shift that you could that would maybe help a parent like right now who's going through it or is kind of reaching a point where they're like they're giving up. Like I can't
Okay.
even anymore. Like
Yeah.
one thing
Okay.
that maybe can
So,
get them to the next point.
yeah. So, to you, mom, who are on the verge of giving up, I want you to know that you're a really good mom and you're doing your very, very best for your kid. And you have a great kid. We just want to get you some more tools and support, but it's not as hard as it feels like. But this is not your identity. You're not stuck here. There's like usually small tweaks, if it's the right tweak, can make your life so much better. And that's really like just the hope I want to share is like, just because you have all these diagnoses for your kid does not mean that like life is always going to be hard and it's going to rule everything and behaviors are always going to be terrible. I feel like sometimes different models can make us feel like that. There's just always hope. There's always something that we can be doing and we can love our life and help our kids live their best life right now, no matter what diagnosis or behaviors are going on.
For sure. Love it. Okay, so where now so I think you should write a book.
It's on my list. I would love
Yeah,
to.
you have a lot of first of all, you're talkative like me and and I think that you have a lot to provide in a lot of information and a lot of maybe some skills that you could provide and I think that you would be really it's on I know it's on your list but don't put it off.
Okay.
Do it sooner than later. It'll actually flow faster than you think. And if you just give yourself 2 hours a day to write, you'll be
Mm,
done before you know it.
mm,
'Cause I just
okay.
wrote a book. I
Thank you
wrote a
for
book
my Oh,
and I had it
cool.
published, but then I also
Nice.
just wrote another book
Wow.
and I'm on my second draft. I finished it. It's a romance novel. It's a little bit out of pocket than what my last book was,
That's
but
amazing.
you can do it. I'm just giving you anybody out there, I encourage you to write your story down, but you not just can write your story, you can incorporate all the things you've learned and all your skills and I'm just saying, I don't know why I'm telling you, you probably know this, but I'm just saying you should write a book.
I love
But
it. Thank you. Okay. I'm
where
gonna
can
move it up
people
the
find
list.
where can Melissa, sorry, I can't talk. Where can people find you online?
Yeah, so my website is melissaschulz.com. My last name is spelled kind of weird, so maybe check the show notes, but it's SCHULZ as in zebra. And I have a free guide on there, how to get your kids to listen with 3 simple strategies. So that is if you go to my website, download that. That is probably the best way. That'll get you on my email list. I usually do free webinars or different events where, like pretty much every month. And so that's a great way to get more information from me. I'd love to help. And then I'm on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, not on TikTok yet. I'm not that cool. I'll work on that.
You
I'll
can
work
do
on my
TikTok,
coolness.
it's easy. I just like I said, I just started
I
and I'm
love it.
already got a lot of people.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, everyone. I say this at the end of every episode. Go to my website, jesssayin.net and go to podcast, scroll down, find this episode, and look for Melissa Schulz right there. Click her name. It'll take you directly to her website. So if you can't remember how to spell it or whatever, go to my website, look at the podcast area, and it'll tell you the name of this episode, which you are listening to. So you should see it. You should know. Go to my website and then and then we could take you right to her information, which is awesome. And then I also am on all the things. So please go to TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, and um, Instagram. I can't X. I'm on all of them. So go like, subscribe, do all the things. YouTube, which is where you can also see this episode if you're not watching it on Spotify, iHeart, Apple, all the places. Anywho, but I just want to say thank you so much, Melissa, for coming on and sharing all your expertise. I like totally picked your brain and interrupted you 50 times, but I had a really good time.
I love it. Me too. That was great.
I
Thank
had a
you
really
so
good
much.
time, and you took my stories and you practically like gave us use it as a practicum. You broke it down. You told us the things we could do, and so people can kind of see how the parenting coaching can help. And I think it's a really positive thing that you're doing. And I think you should write a book.
Okay.
Just saying,
Thank you.
saying.
Okay.
When you write your book, come back on and we'll talk about it.
Okay. I would love to. That sounds great.
I just remember everybody, be good to one another, and everybody take care. Good night, good day, whatever it is for you. Have one of those.
Bye.
Gather around when the sun dips low, talking about the days we used to know. VCR tapes and dial-up tones, raising kids living with achy bones. Leather jackets and big hair days, now it's carpool lines and PTA. Neon dreams turn into schoolyard fights, but our hearts glow in retro nights. We are Gen X, living both worlds. From cassette tapes to a digital world. Parenting now with a nod to the past. The retro love we know will last. We are Gen X, living both worlds. From cassette tapes to a digital world. Parenting now with a nod to the past. The retro love we know will last. We dance to the beats of the boombox sound. Now bedtime stories echo all around. But deep inside we're the mixtape kings, still fighting life with arcade dreams. Feeding families with a pizza slice, telling tales with a side of advice, laughing at the way it used to